Welcome back, gentlefolk and rapscallions of all persuasions. This video will contain spoilers for Wind and Truth. I'll give you a warning before I'm about to get into them so you have time to dip out or mute or whatever you're going to do to keep yourself from being spoiled on that book. Today, I want to talk about Brandon Freaking Sanderson. This is not the man himself, not the author I've watched on YouTube or listened to on his podcast Intentionally Blank, but the Spren of Brandon Sanderson, because I think in a very real way, he's become a Spren of himself. Let me explain. My friend just told me he finished Frugal Wizard, and I knew that book loosely came from ideas Brandon and Dan talked about on Intentionally Blank. So I went back and looked it up, and they discussed a little bit of it in the episode titled Titanic 2 Sink Harder. Yes, that really is the title. It's episode 44 of Intentionally Blank, for anyone wondering. And in that episode, Brandon and Dan start joking about Brandon Freaking Sanderson.
You have this sort of clash between Brandon, your goofy friend from college, and as you occasionally put it, Brandon Freaking Sanderson, as you've said several times.
This is the larger-than-life caricature that fans and, honestly, the publishing industry have built up in their heads. Brandon himself even says that that person isn't real.
I don't know how to treat Brandon Freaking Sanderson, right? Like, he doesn't actually exist to me. He's a thing that exists in the public unconscious and the fandom, but I don't even know him.
And you know, if that isn't the definition of a Spren, I don't know what is. A Spren is an idea given form through perception. We've all sort of collectively made a Brandon Spren. I know the vast majority of you are here for Cosmere content, so here's where the Cosmere parallel comes in. At the end of Wind and Truth, spoiler warning, if you're not caught up, Dalinar dies. But at the same time, Odium creates the Blackthorn. Not Dalinar the man, not the father, husband, and deeply flawed individual who's trying his best to be better with each step he takes. Instead, Odium constructs the public subconscious version, the Blackthorn, the blood-soaked legend, the warlord people feared and revered. The Blackthorn isn't Dalinar, but he's real in a different way. He's an entity given life by distorted perception, almost exactly what Brandon was talking about on the podcast. And here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just fantasy world magic, it's also psychology. I am personally fascinated by the idea of Sonder, the times that you stop and realize that every person you interact with has an inner world as deep and rich as your own, but also the flip side of that. The fact that you can never truly know another person. You can learn a lot about them, history, quirks, behaviors, even some pieces of their inner world if they're willing to share, but you'll never know them the way they know themselves. Instead, you carry around a version of that person in your head, a construct made of everything you've seen, heard, and interpreted about them. And that construct might be close to the truth, but it's never the truth, because it can't be. So when Brandon says Brandon Freaking Sanderson isn't real, he's right. He's not. He's a Spren built from our collective perception, the same way that Odium built the Blackthorn, or the same way you carry around versions of the people you love, respect, or even just follow on YouTube. And maybe that means that every single one of us is walking around with a little army of Spren, not just of ourselves, but of everyone we've ever known. And that's kind of magical in its own way. If you want to keep building the Spren of me you have in your head, please do all those delicious things that feed the almighty algorithm, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!